Today we are going to discuss about the humerus bone. Humerus bone is the longest bone of the upper limb. It has upper end, it has shaft and a lower end. Side determination of humerus bone. Upper end has rounded head. Lower end has medial epicondyle, which is a bony projection that is present medially. Lower end is expanded from side to side and flattened from before backward. Olecranon fossa is a fossa which is present at the posterior aspect of the lower end. So olecranon fossa must be directed posteriorly. Medial epicondyle, which is a bony projection, must be present medially. Head of the humerus that articulates with the glenoid cavity of the scapula must be directed upward, backward and medially. So this is my right side bone. Now let us discuss about the upper end of humerus bone. Upper end of humerus bone has rounded head. This rounded head articulates with the glenoid cavity of the scapula to form the shoulder joint. Head of humerus is directed upward, backward and medially. The line separating the head from the rest of the upper end is called anatomical neck. So this is anatomical neck that separates the head from the rest of upper end. Surgical neck is a line that separates the head from the shaft. So this is surgical neck of humerus bone. Upper end of humerus also contains lesser tubercle and a greater tubercle part. Lesser tubercle is a tubercle which is present on the anterior aspect of the humerus bone. Greater tubercle is present on the lateral aspect of the humerus bone. This is greater tubercle part. This is lesser tubercle. So lesser tubercle, which is present at the upper end, must be directed anteriorly, and the greater tubercle is present on the lateral aspect of the upper end. Greater tubercle has three impressions. It has upper, middle and lower impression. Upper, middle and lower impression. Bicipital groove separates the greater tubercle from the lesser tubercle. This is bicipital groove. Bicipital groove further consists of medially medial lip, laterally lateral lip and a floor. So upper end of the humerus has rounded head that is directed upward, backward and medially, that articulates with the glenoid cavity of the scapula to form the shoulder joint. Upper end has also lesser tubercle which is present on the anterior aspect of the upper end. Upper end also has greater tubercle which is present on the lateral aspect of the upper end, that has upper, middle and lower impression. And a bicipital groove that separates the lesser tubercle from greater tubercle. Anatomical neck. This is anatomical neck that separates the head from the rest of upper end. This is anatomical neck. This is surgical neck that separates the head from the shaft of humerus. Shaft of humerus has three borders, three surfaces. Borders of humerus. It has anterior border, it has lateral border, it has medial border. Anterior border. Anterior border begins with the lateral lip of the bicipital groove. It extends downward almost in the middle. It forms the medial margin of the deltoid tuberosity. This is deltoid tuberosity part. So anterior border almost in the middle of the shaft of the humerus forms the medial margin of the deltoid tuberosity. Its lower part is rounded. This is anterior border. Lateral border. Lateral border of the humerus is prominent in its lower part where it forms the lateral supracondylar ridge. So this area is lateral supracondylar ridge area. So this is lateral border of the humerus bone. Medial border of the humerus bone. Medial border of the humerus bone begins with the medial lip of the bicipital groove. It extends downward and in its lower part it forms the medial supracondylar ridge. So this is medial border, this is anterior border, and this is lateral border. Surfaces of shaft of humerus. Shaft of humerus has three surfaces: anterolateral surface, anteromedial surface, and posterior surface. First of all, anterolateral surface. Anterolateral surface is present between the anterior border and the lateral border. This is anterolateral surface. Anterolateral surface, a little above its middle part, it contains V-shaped deltoid tuberosity. So between the anterior border and the lateral border, anterolateral surface is present. It contains V-shaped deltoid tuberosity. Anteromedial surface is present between the anterior border and the medial border. This is anteromedial surface. In its upper part, it forms the floor of the bicipital groove, and a little below its middle part, it contains the Newton foramen. So this is Newton foramen on the anteromedial surface of humerus bone. Posterior surface. Posterior surface is present between the medial border and the lateral border. So this is posterior surface. Posterior surface contains the bicipital groove just behind the deltoid tuberosity. This is bicipital groove. So anterolateral surface is present between the anterior border and the lateral border containing a V-shaped deltoid tuberosity. Anteromedial surface is present between the anterior border and the medial border. It contains the Newton foramen part, and the posterior surface is present between the lateral border and the medial border. This is medial border, this is lateral border. So between these two borders, posterior surface is present, and posterior surface contains the radial groove. Lower end of the humerus is expanded from side to side and flattened from before backward. Lower end of the humerus has articular area and non-articular area. Let's discuss about the articular area which is present at the lower end of the humerus. Articular area consists of capitulum. This rounded projection is called capitulum, and capitulum articulates with the head of radius. Radius is the lateral bone of the forearm. So capitulum, this rounded projection, articulates with the head of radius. Trochlea, it articulates with the trochlear notch of the ulna bone. Ulna is the medial bone of the forearm. So capitulum articulates with the head of the radius bone, and trochlea articulates with the trochlear notch of the ulna bone. Lower end of the humerus also consists of non-articular part. Non-articular part that consists of medially medial epicondyle, which is a subcutaneous bony projection which is present medially at the lower end. Laterally lateral epicondyle. Anterolateral area of the lateral epicondyle has a muscular impression. So this is lateral epicondyle, this is medial epicondyle. Sharp medial margin at the lower end is called medial supracondylar ridge, and sharp lateral margin at the lower end is called lateral supracondylar ridge. Crinoid fossa is a fossa that is present just above the anterior aspect of the trochlea. Crinoid fossa accommodates the crinoid process of the ulna bone when the elbow is flexed. Radial fossa is present just above the anterior aspect of the capitulum. This is capitulum, this is radial fossa. It accommodates the head of radius bone. Olecranon fossa is present on the posterior aspect of the lower end. It accommodates the olecranon process of the ulna bone when the elbow is extended. So, lower end of the humerus bone has three fossa: crinoid fossa, radial fossa, and oligranulin fossa.